Welcome back to Make It Sick, episode 82, I believe. Let's jump into Anki. Hopefully we got none due today. None. Oh, we got 3. Damn, bro. What are the 6 sections of chapter 2 to learn retrieve? Hopefully you got none today. Because I want to finish chapter 6 today. Reflection is a form of practice. The testing effect, studying the testing effect in the lab, studying the testing effect in the wild, exploring nuances, the takeaway. Cool. Boom, bop. Boom. What is interleaved practice and why is it more effective than blocked practice? Boom, 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 boom. Interleaved practice is mixing up. It's mixing up essentially different subjects and skills within a single practice session. It's more effective than blocked practice because blocked practice is really predictable and it's more like a massed practice technique. Interleaved practice builds discrimination skills and leads to more cognitive effort to learn, more cognitive effort to that leads to more learning as well as more. It also leads to more retrieval flexibility. It's mixing different problem types or skills in session. It builds discrimination and retrieval flexibility, leading to stronger, more durable learning. So pretty good. What are the 6 sections of chapter 6 get beyond learning styles? This is literally the chapter we're in. What would it start with? I know we're gonna mean we're gonna have the takeaway. We're gonna have successful intelligence dynamic testing. We're gonna have structure building. We're gonna have all right, here we go. Active learning from the get-go, successful intelligence dynamic testing, structure building, rule versus example learning, the takeaway. Why is there that high-pitched ringing? Good. This is, I always want to check. Can I see the stats on this? On this deck? Come on now. Because we've had to have looked at this dang deck. We've had to look at make it stick so much. It looks like the last time we've had at least one make it stick flashcard every day for the last 15 days. So, all right. Anyway, what did we learn about yesterday in make it stick? Well, we finished up the section on rule versus example learning. We started the takeaway of chapter 6. The takeaway, we can do that recall pretty easily. We just got through the first main point of the takeaway, which is this takeaway is going to be all about the learning differences that matter. And the first learning difference is taking responsibility and authority for your own learning. No one else can make you learn. They can't learn for you, at least. So that's the first learning difference that matters. Is the spectrum of how much responsibility and authority and responsibility do you take for your own learning. Rule versus example learning. All right. We probably would have started with the kind of research in rule versus example learning. The 2 problems. The problem with the sieging the gate with the mind bridges or destroying a tumor with radiation. And how people were able to not really come up with the solution on their own, but once they were asked to compare the similarities of the two problems, they were able to much more likely solve both problems because they see the underlying pattern principle is very similar. Okay. Rule learning, just like structure building, is still early in our understanding and research. Is there a correlation between high structure building and high rule learning? Too early to say. What we can say is that high structure building and high rule learning lead to more transfer of knowledge and transfer of learning, which I'm really interested in. I love to be able to actually learn something to the point where it's know-how, it's transferable. The underlying patterns and principles can be rematched, reshaped, reconfigured, used creatively, seen in other parts of the world and life. Know-how is essentially an adjective of knowledge. Knowledge, or it's like a noun. It's like it's a type of knowledge. Know-how is basically, knowledge is considered know-how when you have basically understood the fundamental patterns and principles, and you can actually rearrange these basic chunks in unique new combinations. So it's really a deep understanding of the underlying rules and patterns and principles underlying a concept or subject, and then you can take those and apply them. All right. Yep, got that. Know how. Yep. I think so. How you feel. All right, we're all caught up from yesterday. So now what we're going to do is continue reading, and we may just finish up this chapter right here, which would be nuts. All right, be back in a bit. There it is. Chapter 6 complete. Wow. Feels incredible. It feels incredible. Let's recall. What do we read up? Okay, so this last section, or this takeaway section, it wasn't just about learning differences that matter, that they touched on them. It also was just kind of general advice about learning. I'm going to actually write this down for the summary, or what this section was about. It was basically general advice / principles. General advice / principles for improving learning and mastery, especially focused on topics from this chapter. All right. So taking responsibility for your learning, what we talked about already. Next was basically you don't narrow yourself and limit yourself to just your preferred learning style. Go wide. When you want to learn to do something, want to be able to do something, write it out, right? What do you want to actually do? Then create a list of the things you'll need to learn in order to do that thing, and then find out resources you can use to acquire those skills and learn those things, or maybe even create a little bit of a action plan. Use dynamic testing along the way to discover your weaknesses and improve upon your weaknesses. What would have been next? Probably some stuff about structure building. Right. The essence of structure building, right? Distill concepts and subjects down to the big ideas, and then connect these big ideas. That's the essence of structure building. If you're stuck in this example learning, take two examples and compare and contrast their similarities, differences. Compare their similarities and differences. They kind of talked about this like analogy of, learning and getting up. If you want to get to the thing you want to do, you got to take a spiral staircase where the center post is that thing that connects everything, the big ideas, and then the stairs themselves are the big ideas, and then the guardrails are kind of supporting details. That's everything. Then they add some stuff that wasn't directly about this chapter. It was more general book over, learning advice. That was use active learning techniques such as retrieval, interleaving practice, spaced practice, varied practice, and other things such as elaboration, generation, reflection. And don't assume you're learning when it's easy, and don't assume you're not learning when it's hard. All right. What do we got? That's it. That's it. Don't assume. Yep. Chapter 6 in the books. One last thing to do is go ahead and write down what this chapter is about. What is this chapter about? I would say the myth of learning styles and learning differences that actually matter. There it is, in the books. We will be in chapter 7 soon. Before we do, you know what time it is. We got ChatGPT to do. Ooh, actually, we have any questions? Right. What are the differences in learning that do matter according to the authors? Differences in how we learn that affect learning outcomes. Taking charge of one's own learning, rule learning, structure building, how you see yourself and your abilities, personal narratives and beliefs about your abilities, language fluency and reading abilities, and then intelligence. So 6 of them. So we have, we're going to run out of time today. We got 20 seconds left. So in summary, we finished reading chapter 6. We answered what this chapter was about. We ensured that we had no questions left to answer personal questions. So what will be next is the ChatGPT quiz. After that, Anki flashcards, and then we will be into chapter 7, which I believe is largely about Carol Dweck and mindset research. Neuroplasticity, that's sweet. We're gonna get into the good stuff now. IQ, is it mutable? Let's go. This is what I'm talking about. Brain training, growth mindset. Oh my gosh, this is exactly the type of chapter I've been waiting for. I'm excited for this one. All right, that's it for today. Talk to you later.